Craig, disappointment this afternoon. Halifax take the win in the season opener. What's your assessment on the performance?
I thought they deserved it, to be fair. I think the way that they performed in that second half, they fully deserved the win. We just didn't play as well in the second half as we did in the first half. I think they were 95% completion rate in that first half. Second half we were way below 50%. When you give the opposition that much ball and you're doing back-to-back defensive sets, and you're going to get broken down. So I think it's just a real good lesson for us about the basics of the game, about doing them things right and looking after the ball and being a threat when you've got the ball in hand, which I thought we were in that first half. But ultimately we didn't do it for 80 minutes. So it's a real big lesson that we need to learn very quickly.
We did lose the two players, obviously, in the first half. Just how much did that kind of have a bit of an impact on the performance?
Yeah, it did. But we came in at half-time leading. So we can't use that as an excuse. James Glover pulled out on the morning of the game, and there was a bit of disruption with getting people in on time through traffic. But if we'd have come in at half-time 20 points down, then you can maybe say, yeah, that's a bit of an excuse, or look for an excuse. But we were up at half-time, so we dealt with that, which I'm pleased with. Again, it's disruption that we're having to deal with. I think we've played 3 games now, and on the morning of every 3 games, 3 of the competitive games that we've had somebody pull out of the 17. So we're dealing with that. And that's good to see. So we can't use that as an excuse. So it impacts on your rotations, but the way that we handled the game in the second half just weren't good enough.
That second half in particular, losing obviously from a winning position, did you see something maybe that you've not seen from the lads yet so far in training on field? No,
not really. No, I just think I've said all the way through that we're going to be learning about each other in this sort of first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season, and we're certainly learning a little bit about us, a little bit about the game of rugby league today, and what we need to do. So it's a lesson that we need to learn, like I said, very, very, very quickly, because we're going to Widnes next week, who got a great victory over at Toulouse yesterday.
That Widnes game in particular, just how tough will it be going to a place like that, who obviously, as you say there, did go out to France and beat Toulouse?
Yeah, they'll be confident, won't they? So we've got to make sure that we produce the right response for us. Because they'll be fully confident of beating us based on what we dished up in that second half and what they did yesterday against Toulouse. So it's every game this year in the Championship is exactly the same. You can't look at the fixture list and think there's an easy game there, because teams are going to be beating each other. You look at the scores every single week from the Championship, and there'll be what you might consider a strange result or an upset. So we've got to make sure that we're not that strange result or that strange upset, that upset, because rugby league's got a real good habit of biting you when you're not right.
And with that game in mind next week, you're hoping to have some of the players back that maybe were unavailable today? Yeah,
potentially. Corey Johnson should be back. We'll definitely be without Fozzie and Blake, because they'll be under the HIA protocols. The rest, we'll have to have a look at Conor Bauer. Potentially started running again this week, so he might be back, but we don't want to rush him back too soon just for the sake of it. So we're a little bit low on numbers, but that's rugby league, unfortunately.